Welcome back, everybody, to Rimworld. So, as you guys have hopefully seen by now over in the announcements channel, over in Discord, over on the YouTube community section, I've tried to put it everywhere so that nobody was left in the dark, but I am going to be away until Sunday this week. This video is probably going up on Friday, so as I'm recording this, this will be tomorrow for me. So, hopefully you guys know why I'm going away. If you're interested in that, go take a look at, like I said, the announcements on Discord, the YouTube community tab, whatever else. Now, unfortunately, that means I'm on a very, very limited time limit, so I'm limiting myself to basically one video a day, but I didn't want to go 5 days without a Rimworld video. Now, the only reason I'm not doing Rimworld every day as my one video a day is that, obviously, the majority of people who subscribe to my channel are probably for CK2, but more importantly, Rimworld does take me, on average, 3 to 4 hours to make. You can hopefully sort of see why, just based on what's going on in the background here. We're playing on Speed 4, people are still moving, I mean, only slightly faster than they normally would. You've also got, around, they've got a load of stuff giving them faster movement speed or bionics or whatever else. So it's still incredibly slow. Now, to be fair, we've got a massive mod pack, some of which I've tried to remove as well. Towards the end of this episode, I'll go through some of the changes that I've made to this mod pack. For those of you who perhaps want to play along with this eventually, but are worried about the stability of things, it is slow, but it's worked out. To say how much we've got rammed into here, say that we haven't had any crashes or any significant issues, I'm actually really, really impressed. Now, what I'm going to do with this video is obviously I've got to be a bit lighter on the editing. I've got such a limited amount of time. I'm literally catching a train in 2 hours. So there's not a huge amount I can do with this one. But again, I didn't want to leave you guys in the dark for too long. What are we doing in the background here? Oh, right, we're still doing the advanced organs. After the advanced organs, by the way, we are going to be moving on to the genetic rim stuff, because that was, of course, our end game victory, our winning, what was it? What's it called again? It's like the Archotech research. I think I just remembered off the top of my head there. It's not Archotech? I don't remember. But one of the genetic rim actually allows us to build a mechanoid centipede. There it is, Archotech project. I don't know why that didn't pop up. This is a game-ending, game-winning scenario, similar to building your ship and taking off. That's what apparently this is. So we're going to try and build one of these as we go through it. Oh, maybe I have to build that thing eventually. I'm not entirely sure. But that's what we're going to go for, ideally, so that's how we're going to win the campaign. That was always going to be the thing, but of course, building the dinosaur part was kind of got a little bit distracted, huh? I think we've built a pretty successful dinosaur park at this stage. We've got 2 hotels and then a handful of dinosaurs in a very sort of sad, burnt-down area. We'll build them some, obviously, but when I get back from my little trip away, we'll build some little enclosures for them and whatnot and try and get some, I was going to say visitors, but apparently they've already turned up anyway. Father of Ian Goldblum. That guy must be about 1,000 years old. Does that say grandmother of colonist John? How? Social? Okay, so none of you people. Husband, rival, dweeb, bio, grandson, John Hermond. How the fuck does that work? So your grandson is John, right? But John is 41 years of... Oh, I guess it'd been in cryo freeze or something like that, right? Okay, that does kind of work a little bit more. But what I wanted to discuss this episode in particular, because I'm more limited in what I can do with it, I wanted to discuss what you want to do for next series. Because this series, it is getting towards the end of its natural lifespan, just based on the fact of how much lag it's got, but I think we are coming towards the end game now, just based on, I mean, look at our goddamn colony, huh? So, this one, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to rush it closed or anything like that. I do want it to come to a natural conclusion. I want it to still be entertaining, obviously. We've got a lot more to sort of explore in it, but don't worry about it disappearing in the next few days or even in the next week. But I wanted to talk about next series in advance so I can start building the mod pack in advance and so that we can get a lot more balance going on. Because that's the issue with a lot of these Rimworld playthroughs is that my mod packs, generally I go kind of super high ambition with them, and then they end up being very, very slow towards the end game like you see them right now. So what I'm thinking for next mod pack is something we've never really done before in Rimworld. We've done the survival series. We've done the very basic Jolt-style survival series, whereby we played on Naked Brutality with a guy with obviously no equipment, no food, with some additional needs mods like the Hydra mod, and it was designed to be just hard because of the scenario. I'm thinking, why not do another survival-style scenario, but instead, we do have access to all this crazy tech. However, the difficulty, now we're playing like, what I was thinking is the main sort of crux of things would be to play on Hildegard, like Savage, straight from the get-go here, so that we are going to be fighting these massive drop pods, so we are going to get these giant pirate raids or giant animal attacks, but then instead of building something like this, like a luxury hotel or building like a luxury base like we've done in most series, and going for these crazy bionics, which are obviously hyper expensive, we'll sink 95% of our resources into defense and really bunkering down it, just being like a real hellscape world, like a survival series whereby we have to focus on our defenses. I don't think I've ever done that in Rimworld, where we've ever had a playthrough where defense has been our #1 priority and then everything else has come second. Defenses, for me, have always been an afterthought. Something we've done when we're comfortable, when our base is all built. You know, maybe in that scenario, we can't just have these separate rooms. We'll have to have a big barrack, and they're just eating simple meals or even nutrient paste, and every day is difficult. I think that could be a really, really fun idea. You guys let me know what you think. So we've constantly got tension, we've constantly got, you know, raids and a new playstyle that I don't think we've ever really explored before. So you guys give me some feedback. You know, of course, there is an entirely separate idea you guys would all like to see. Upvote each other's comments depending on what you want to see as well, and that way I'll be able to much more easily see what we need here. But that's personally what I was sort of trending towards, because I was just thinking, like, you know, we've got all these crazy mods, we've got like Rimatomics, and we're building all this stuff, but as you guys have been saying, especially on the comments from last episode, even at this stage, the Marauder, given all these crazy OP mods we've got, given like Rimsonol especially, they're just unnecessary. Like, despite the fact that the most powerful Rim, or one of the most powerful Rim Atomics weapon, they don't do anything. You know, they're not as powerful as they would be in the base game. Oh, God. Is that a problem? I mean, it's turning itself off. Okay, that's fine. Wow, that was kind of scary for a second, but I think we're fine. We'll get that reconnected up to this grid instead. That way, when we need to, we can flip this back on and flip the whole grid, which is why we've got this, like, the whole redundancy system. But I think it'd be really cool to actually need to build these crazy defenses, build these crazy big bases with multiple layers of security, with you know, all that crazy stuff with these crazy Rimatomics endgame turrets. I mean, making that possible in the first place. Not being able to build giant Jade hotels or giant Amber hotels. Again, let me know what you think, and I'll, of course, base what next series will be on your feedback. I'll start working on that relatively soon. I'll give you guys a preview of it before we actually go into a series. That way, you guys get more say over what comes next in Rimworld. I thought we could make it more of a community thing, and less just me saying, hey, this is what we're doing this time around. I want you guys to be able to decide that too. And there are obviously a lot of mods that I want to explore as well that we've never really had a chance to. I mean, even Rimatomics, if you guys have been saying, even Rimatomics this time around, there's going to be very few of these which are actually relevant in our playthrough. I mean, like, say the mutagenic weapons, instantly knock down an enemy, transform into something that can't harm us. We've got, you know, all this crazy other defense tech. We've got the mutagenic mortar shells, especially just mortar a bunch of enemies. Suddenly they're not a threat anymore. I'd love to check out the cybernetics mod, something we've never really looked at, the Glittertech cybernetics style mods. Even though they've been in a lot of different mod packs, I've never really learned how they work, and they look incredible. Like this whole additional wiring system having to connect up these different really complex grids. I think that could be fun. Maybe some of the complex could come from the game mechanics and the mod mechanics rather than just it being hard. You know, Jolt being knocked down because he's, you know, naked brutality. We just happen to get unlucky and get a raid turn up really early on. Rather than that, actually have a constant fighting life or death situation. Again, let me know what you guys think. I'm not gonna draw that point too much home anymore, but I think that could be very, very fun. Right, I guess now we're fucked in the sense that, oh, there we go, solar flies over. Right, so let's get this toggled on. Get the nuclear reactor back online and just immediately carry on with the research straight away. Oh, God, my batteries. Zeus, stop. Conflict this, thank you. Alright, let's get this nuclear reactor back on immediately. I think we can just, yeah, I was going to say it should just turn back on, shouldn't it? We don't need to, oh, we should probably also reconnect it up to that same grid. We don't need to, like, turn it on, do we? I mean, it's blue. I think that means it's off. Okay, John, I need to come and actually boot up the reactor if demand. I thought it would also boot back on, but maybe there's a research for that in the future, huh? Right, John, let's get this turned back on and get back on with the research as soon as possible. The other thing in that regard then I want to do, because we're just basically waiting for a lot of research to finish at this stage of the game, sit down another research bench. This lab is such a goddamn mess, my God. I'm going to reinstall this reactor out here, the test reactor. I'm going to probably get rid of this workbench. Although I suppose we could have it in here hooked up to the weapons bench, couldn't we? That could kind of work. But I do need to put down another high-tech steel research bench. Otherwise, our research is going to take so much longer. I believe they can also connect up to the multi-analyzers, right? They can. So let's bring a multi-analyzer out here too, because obviously you don't need one serving this many benches. Let's make the lab a lot more efficient, because we've got Trashy, we've got John, we've got Missing Pelvis, and we've got Spleens, all capable of doing research now. And if we're waiting on research, we might as well try and make it go as fast as possible. Now, as I recall, I probably should have done this first. There are advanced multi-analyzers too, which we could always go for before we start diving into the... Yeah, there is. Okay. Before we start diving too much into the genetics stuff and our more endgame stuff, and obviously while we're doing that background, we'll experiment with the limbs and obviously the mutagenics, the polymorph, or whatever else. That research is going to take a long time, so that'll buy us definitely many episodes. But we might as well at least try and get the most out of our researchers as possible. Now, what else we got here? I'm looking for blue carpet, if you don't mind. I also noticed that apparently we're missing a doormat outside this door, so let's quickly put one of those down too. Any doormat is good. What have we got? Panthera fur? That'll do. Thank you very much. My favorite groove metal band. Okay, so we'll stick down another research bench very quickly and get this research done as soon as possible. Trashy gets his own work area. You know what, Trashy? You're going to be far away. Oh, I don't want him to be so far away from all his friends. Well, that's not very good. I might rebuild all of this. I might replan all of these. So let's get these reinstalled for a start, because these are obviously just useful to have around. So let's move some of them over here, just so they're not in the way, but so that we've still got room to build around them. Okay, there we go. Let's get this reinstalled down here, yeah? And then we'll put another research cabinet on this side of the room. That way the room's going to look even as well. Oh, that's going to look so much nicer. Bear with me on this one. Right, Aiden. Oh, someone else is doing that? Hey, there we go. Thank you, Slot Machine. Appreciate you. So then we need to make sure the multi-analyzer is centered. That also will give us room in the future for... Yeah, that will fit. Nice work. Okay. That will give us room in the future for building our... what was I going to say? Our advanced multi-analyzer and anything else. If I ever do work out how that cybernetic stuff works, or the cybernet, I think the mod is just called, we can... we've got room for that as well over here. Thank you, Aiden. Appreciate that. It's not like we're just about to put a workbench over the top of all of that, is it? Oh, spleens. What a classic joke there. I told a joke about using howitzers to John. Don't we all love when you use a howitzer? Oh, that's so good. So I've reorganized the research lab a little bit, as you can see. It's still very, very round. I would love to honestly maybe move some more of this room atomic stuff into some separate rooms. Like, the lab is too small. I think we need to expand the whole lab, maybe down, just maybe take over this whole area. Now that I think about it, that's probably a good idea, isn't it? So if we go something like that, turn this all into one big indoor area, mine out all of these mountains too, then we've also got a power system in there, then we can turn this all into... Oh, that's such a good plan. Why the hell have I not done that so far? So all of this is outdoors will turn indoors, then we've got a secret lab as well from our genetic stuff connected up to the main lab. It's 10 out of 10. Okay, so we'll try and work on that in a minute. We'll try and get that working. For the time being, I'm just waiting on the last of these resources so that we can build this actual high-tech... There we go. High-tech research bench, and all 4 of our workers can work simultaneously alongside each other. The cool thing is, as well, Trashy and John aren't so far away that they can't talk to one another. That's obviously all that's important here. We've got to make sure Trashy and John can still be the best of friends. It means that their social stack can obviously increase as they're working, which is why I want it all rammed in as close to it as possible. But look how many things that's hooked up to. So the only other thing that we would have to potentially put in this room, I believe, is the advanced multi-analyzer, which only takes up the same area that this multi-analyzer plus this takes up. What is it, like 6x2? So we could take away all of these research cabinets, put it there instead, because each one of these offers like a 1% research speed. Hang on, does that mean if we just ram this room filled with them? Huh. So if we just fill this room entirely with research cabinets, we could potentially be looking at like... I mean, we've got 16 right now. Is that actually conferring a 16% speed bonus? This is ridiculous. Granted, the multi-analyzer is more efficient in terms because it's only taking up 9 blocks, but it gives 10% research speed. So we could just put these in every... We could build the walls out of them as well. I might have to think about that in between episodes before maybe we start next episode or before I dive into the next... obviously, when I get back from my trip. What I'll do is I'll plan out how many research cabinets we could ram into a room. Like, what's the maximum distance before these things stop being active? So that way it doesn't work, that way it doesn't work. So we're looking at 1, 2, 3... 4. It has a diagonal of 4. Oh my god, we could ram a room with so many. We could build like an 8x8. Oh, but the bench is so much longer. We could build like an 8x10. Oh, this is so good. Sorry, I'm thinking of so many different plans for this. Literally surround each station in as many workbenches as possible. And the multi-analyzers, of course, the advanced multi-analyzer, this computing system as well is obviously quite good. That gives... Oh, that only gives 8% per 9 blocks. It would actually be more efficient to remove the computing system or replace it with more of these. Because if that takes up 9... Is that... Oh, it's 4 blocks, sorry. 2, 3... Yeah, it's 4 blocks. Okay, that's fine then. I was going to say otherwise we could just remove it and build all these research benches. This is dumb. This is so dumb. Perfect. Perfect. Why are you still working? It's 11 p.m. What are you doing, Trashy? Schedule sleep? Does he not need to sleep so much because he's got the bionics? Oh, he's well fed. The stew? Oh my god, look at this. My rival Android 2 died, passionate mutage. Oh, ambient music gives him +3. That's quite nice. Obviously, Spacious Imperial, extremely impressive rooms. Minor passion mile, luxuriantly comfortable, recreation fully satisfied, beautiful environment, 8 lavish meal. Wow. These are the happiest people. This is what I'm talking about with next series, right? These are the happiest people that have ever lived. Look at how many are in blue or even the highest green level of happiness. I want a colony whereby people aren't always happy all the time, and instead it's literally a fight of life and death survival. You know, a colony where we can't afford to churn out assault armor after assault armor, or, you know, exoframe after exoframe. I want one where we've actually got that constant raid and constant challenge. So I think with the time-based dangers mod, plus Hildegard, it forces us to play in that particular gameplay style. I think it could be very, very cool. We call it Rimworld Warfare, or Rimworld Warzone, or Rimworld Why is everyone dying within the first 3 episodes? I don't know, name pending, obviously, but I think that could be very, very fun. Stop putting these freaking eggs in here. Right, what? Oh, you know, this room we could actually put into another room, atomics room, couldn't we? We could have this as like our weapon testing room. Seems a shame just to have this massive field that we're not doing anything with. So let's remove these fences. Let's try and expand this out. So how can we... I mean, I could just do something like that. Yeah? And then, oh, actually, we only need this wall in theory. So let's do that. Wait for that, obviously, to be deconstructed. Remove it. Build that across. Take this wall out. Put a door here. And then we could have that as another weapons testing room, or even move the storage pool into there and have some other stuff. Or even knock it through into just one big room. That might work even better still. His robots are so goddamn good, my god. They're a little OP still. I specifically went for the not OP version of the mod, and even now these robots are just like... They're so cheap. If there was a limit to how many you could build, obviously there'd be no way to do that, but if there was a limit to how many you could have, that would also work kind of well. They are very, very powerful. So what I'm thinking of doing then, let's wait for that outside wall to be finished. We'll knock this one down, and then we'll knock... I think we might have to keep one of those up. And then I'm thinking we'll knock all of this through, and that way the outside wall should be able to stay up. Remove the vent as well. Yeah, okay, so we'll keep that one in too, just to hold up the walls in case of it all collapsing or something like that. And then we'll get all this stuff moved over, or at least move the storage pool over, and just use this as a big natural expansion to the lab. I said we need to make the lab bigger, so why not? Oh, and this is already done as well. So then we'll have everyone at the same time also mining this out. Sooner we can do this, the better. So then obviously the robots can start work on that too. The water tower we could always install like out here instead, by the by the big nuclear... Okay, nuclear cooling towers only spit out steam, so it's not a big deal. We'll put that over there, and then we might have to... I mean, this stuff can stay, right? Oh, no, because if we're going to roof over, the whole thing actually won't work, but I'm sure we got room out here. We could put it just like there. That works out pretty well. Okay, there we go. And that also, you got to remember, does feed not only the actual labs, toilets, and basins, but also feeds the hotel. So we need to make sure this isn't interrupted for too long. So much water over here, that's the only concern. Although if they're all hooked up to the same area, it doesn't matter. So we can literally put the water well there and then just have it all piped together. Yeah, okay. So what about this? Can this be under a roof? Let's give this a quick test. Actually, I don't think I've got any room to install it. Space already occupied. Oh, what about in here? Yeah, it can't be placed under a roof. Okay, that's good to know. So we'll also move this. We'll move this like outside here. That would just look kind of cool out there, I think. Yeah, it could be a little bit fragile given that it's on the other side of the embrasures, but, you know, that's fine. It's better than just hiding it where it is right now. This we also want to hide somewhere where it'll be safe. So, ooh, I don't know. We could put it up here. That works out pretty well because then it's behind the wall. It can't be shot at through the embrasure or anything like that. Yeah, this is kind of necessary. This whole area has bugged me for a long time, because obviously this is where we had a lot of raiders breaking through, things like that. But if we build it up as part of our big secret lab, that way we can also work on the secret lab idea that obviously a lot of people are interested in. Kind of killing two birds with one stone at this stage. Right, so then we also need to run another power conduit through here. It should be hooked up anyway, right? Oh, is it not? It's not actually connected to the hotel. Right, fair enough. Okay, so we get those power conduits redone, and then this will all just be one big indoor area. Mining box are on it. Wow, these bots are overpowered. I think it's definitely sped the series up quite a lot, which I think is what we needed to some extent, because we have so many different mods adding so much different extra stuff. But I think I'm going to say no more robots from now on. No building fresh ones, I should say. This is fine. This amount is probably quite a nice balance, but no more after that. So this one we can also fill in with like cloning vats, because I believe we need to build those to actually clone the evolved organs as well. So let's just quickly turn this into... So let's buff that along. Then we need to put down some bridges to be able to support this zone as well, because obviously that does count as deep water there, rather unfortunately. So let's go to the structure tab. I can never find the bloody structure. It's one thing that doesn't annoy me is having so many mods enabled that it moves around all of these. You kind of play Rimworld for however many 300, 400 hours without mods, and then you install mods and everything's in a completely different place. That's what keeps throwing me off with the whole, but keep pressing the world tab rather than history tab, things like that. Let's get some bridges down as soon as possible then. There we go. And I might even rip up these wooden ones just so they can... How do we... Oh, that's wood. Is that wooden floor? What's going on there? Some of it we can remove, some we can't. What the fuck is this then? Wooden bridge. Oh, it's got plumbing on it. Ah, okay, that explains a lot. Right, so let's remove all the plumbing just in this zone. Otherwise, I'm going to be constantly trying to build stuff in, wondering why it won't actually work. Right, so we'll do something like that. There we go, because a lot of this plumbing has got to remain... Actually, all of this plumbing has to stay. So I'll put all of this stuff back very quickly. Excuse me, can I have plumbing? There we go, thank you. Right, quickly remove all of that stuff, because that's got to stay, because obviously that feeds these sinks here. And then we'll have to build some fresh plumbing up towards the new water tower and the new, what is it called? Wind turbine or water turbine or whatever they call it. Wind pump, there we are. Those new positions as well. Then that shouldn't be a problem. That should all be the same as it was before. So it's got a capacity of 2,000 litres per day. That's fine. Shouldn't take them too long to build this place up, and then we'll just concrete over the rest of the floor or something like that. I'm not really too concerned about how the lab floors look right now. So... Besides that, is there anything else I want to do to this area? This I'm going to tidy up. Like this whole lab zone, I think we could do a lot more with it, because I was trying to keep it somewhat secret, you know, have a bit of a wall buffer there so that raiders and things couldn't just knock down through into that. But now that we've built, obviously, the hotel and this external wall and all the defenses, I don't think that's going to be too relevant anymore. So I might knock all of this through and try and build it as like a nice big straight wall. This back here was originally meant to be like the hotel's food area, but it's unnecessary because raiders bring their own food and they're kind of happy regardless. Oh shit, I've cut off all the water to our bedrooms. How much money are we making out? 460 from those guys. Not too bad. I'm gonna go build roof area over all of this. There we are. That's the lab expansion we needed right there. So we should have room for all of this crazy extra room atomic stuff, all of this crazy other genetic stuff too. I'll quickly get this stuff done. And then anything we don't have time for today, I'll make sure is done before next episode so that we're not missing out on too much there. Right, so let's get all of this roofed over as well. That'll do it. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. It's quite a sizable lab expansion. To be honest, we could also knock this wall through and treat this all as one big room. And there is the advanced limb structure. So it's not going to be... I am hoping that the advanced limb structure is the thing that we actually installed on Shia LaBeouf. You know, when we gave him that... Was it Shia LaBeouf or was it Trashy? I think it was Shia LaBeouf. Where is he? Actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf. Yes, the evolved on the evolved spam. Evolved spam? That was dangerous. That was close to being demonetization level. The evolved spine. So these actually... So the reason we wanted these and the reason they're so good is they give 50% apparently manipulation, which I didn't even realize. But you can install an extra set of them. So we can give Shia LaBeouf 4 arms, for example. That's what we're going to try and go for. Now, what I'm going to do, so we can actually check this out and make sure that we are on the right lines along that, I'm going to put down an organ vat and a cloning vat in this new room. Oh, man. The 3 advanced components each. Shit. Okay. Right. Okay, what have we got here then? Oh, more bloody mining bots, huh? I mean, we've only got 2 mining bots right now, so I'll put down another sort of couple. We'll say we'll have 5 of each robot, but anything beyond that is unreal. So we want to make advanced components here. So that what you're building there, exoframe, cancel that. Make sure we've got those advanced components being churned out first, please. We've got more of this armor too. Shit. Is that enough to give everybody a set of assault armor? That could be really good. Let me just check the rat very briefly. It says drop protective gear. What I might even do is say let's do it. Let's just pull the trigger on it. Apparel, no protective gear. Protective gear. Oh, it's already forbidden. Oh, right, of course, on that side it is. Yeah, obviously. So, storage. Let's go protective gear and just quickly remove that from the list. There we are, and then protective helmet as well. Make sure that the assault stuff is allowed on this side and see if the... Yeah, there we go. Assault armor and assault helmet. Then they should start hauling this stuff automatically onto these racks just to make sure and just help speed things up as well. I will go to all of these and drop the various stuff that's not supposed to be on here. And that gives our hauling bot something to do. Nice. And then next time we check it out, and because these are all still dedicated to particular people, so this is John's, for example, he'll come and automatically equip that. You know, it doesn't really need to bind the armor to them or anything along those lines. Let's get this stuff hauled urgently, and let's get this stuff all hauled urgently as well. I think we might not have enough assault helmets, so I might have to put the protective helmets back on that rack for the time being. No storage space for what? Oh, Styracosaurus eggs? Fine, just fucking leave them there, whatever. Oh, don't deconstruct them, thank you. Yeah, cancel, thank you. Right, that'll work. Okay, so we've got this little bit of an expansion here. To say that today I haven't had much time to do anything, I feel like we've achieved a fair amount with our couple of lab expansions here. They were definitely needed. You know, I've gone on way too long in that really cramped little lab to say that, you know, research is basically the only thing we've got left here. Let's also make sure we've got some cables running around the outside just to ensure that none of these machines are going to be cut off from power. Yeah, let's quickly get that done too. To cook that stuff up. There we go. Probably run a cable all the way down here again, just for redundancies in the system at this stage, in case raiders do happen to drop pod right into the middle of things, cut places off from, you know, we don't want our turrets to be cut off from power because Jinx's bedroom wall was cut through or something like that. We're going to go back to production. We want to stick down a clone vat. So I'll put it along this wall. That looks fine. And then an organ vat to... Oh, the organ vats are tiny. Wow. They are absolutely diddy. Fine, we'll put down a couple of those then. There we go. And how do we want the access to this lab? I guess we could go through this door down into this room here. It's like a super high security thing. I say as I click the hold door open button. It would be more convenient to obviously do it through the workroom. Maybe I should do that instead. You know, I'm saying I like all this security stuff, but to be honest, it's just inconvenient. There's no security involved because it's not going to stop all of our colonists allowed in there. It's not like it's going to stop particular people going in. Roof collapse, marble blocks, what? Oh, because we're working on this room. Right, okay. Were you telling me the door was holding up the whole ceiling? It's a little bit dangerous, I will admit. Oh, God, Ian. Oh, God, Ian. Someone help Ian. I love that the animals, whenever anyone goes in, they all just flock over to them to go and visit them. That's so nice. There we go. So we got ourselves a little bit of a petting zoo there. Come and pet some of our many aerofleets, or some of our many Muffalo, or our Mycoid Colossus. By the way, another Mycoid Colossus randomly walked into here. I can only assume it's because it was the only area on the map that actually had kibble. I've been trying to tame it for ages, but I've not been able to. It would be a nice companion for our other very lonely Mycoid Colossus. Look at these fucking animals. What are they doing? The animals in Rimworld have always behaved so fucking weirdly. I love the way that they all just follow around as one big unit there. But yeah, that's quite a nice zoo, and obviously when we get them all into their separate zones, I think that'd be quite good. It's not exactly the real Jurassic Park that we were going for, given that I think 90% of them are either jellyfish, or what have we got? Like a load of mammals as well. We've got those 2 Kaovix. We've got, to be fair, the Great Devourer and the Raptor, I think, alone is worth seeing. And then all of the rest of the actual dinosaurs are just one particular type. Oh, that's not true. That's not true. We've got our creepy Handsaurus. Yeah, it's a little disappointing. I'd be a little bit annoyed if I paid admission for this place and saw that was it. It's coming along quite nicely. Well done. So can I get Aiden very quickly just to prioritize working on this one? Just so that we can get this stuff, just the one, if you don't mind. Actually, we've got enough for all of it. I want to just make sure that we are going along the right lines here, and these are what we need to be able to start cloning the organs. Maybe just before we end today's episode, we can get some of those limbs cloned. Holy shit, nice. I never thought we'd actually get this done today, but it looks like we're going to. Aiden, you are a scholar and a saint, my man. Cleaning, what are you? Construction bot number 41. We don't have 41 construction bots. I don't know why it's called that. You are a scholar and a saint, my man. Welcome. Okay, organ vat then. So it doesn't have power. Oh, there we go. What can we start growing? Evolved organs. Oh my god, it's so good. Claw, saber, mace, tentacle, shield. Oh my god, it's like what's the game where you play as, what's his name? Like Alex Mercer or something? You jump around a city? Why can I not remember the name of the game? It's like Spider-Man 2. Or Hulk Ultimate Destruction. If you played Hulk Ultimate Destruction. That's gonna bother me so much. And then the next few players, James Heller. I've played them both. I don't remember what the fucking games are called now. That one, where you get the weird genetic weapons. This is exactly what that's reminding me of. I'm gonna grow us some evolved dinosaurs. We need 20 mechanized, and humanoid protein times 35. That's actually relatively cheap. We've got the slurry, right? Slurry. So do until we've got X. We should always do until we've got 60. Actually, is probably a fair shout. And then unpause when we've only got 30 left. That way, we've always got enough in storage to make sure that we have that other one. Let's paste another one in there. Maybe the crafting bots can do this. I'm not entirely sure. So make slurry for Mew tonight. Thank you very much. Have we got any in storage? We've got 1. So then the humanoid. What was it? The protein as well. Was that what it was called? Sorry, let's go back to... So, the humanoid protein times 35. How the fuck do we make that? Biofuel refinery? Human... I have no idea. Okay, that's a new one. I don't know how to make that one. Humanoid protein... Oh, there we are. 25 meat. Is that it? This is so good. This is so good. Okay. Let's make me... Maybe just like 200 of those. Fuck it. Maybe like 200 humanoid proteins. Some pulls we've only got 50 left. So, I mean, it's 20 and 20, right? Wow. This is going to be good. This is going to be so good. Obviously, we have to grow the limb, so it's just not just like, you know, working at the Bionics workbench where you just stick all your components in, you give them time, you give them all the work speed bonuses, and they built it. Still going to take some time. The more organ bats we can build, the better. They need 400 watts of power, but they are quite expensive to build, and obviously take quite a while there as well. Let's just build a load of arms. Let's just build a load of arms for everybody. I want 1,000 arms for our people. In the meantime, then, thank you all for watching. I apologize that this episode has been slightly... I mean, I was going to say slightly less progress than usual, but I honestly feel like that's not true at all. We've got 2 nice big lab expansions going on there, one of which is... I mean, this one's obviously finished. We've got to finish off the floors in here, though. We've got our evolved limbs being processed and ready to go. We've redone the lab. To say that I was on a massive time limit here, and I've got... like an hour before I've got to go and catch a train, also to edit and upload this, then I'm running up against the time limit, so I'm going to say thank you all for watching. Of course, big shout out to the patrons as per usual. Big shout out to the insane top tier level patrons and the regular patrons for their incredible patience and support, given that obviously content has been very low recently. That's all. I think we're good. I apologize this episode has been slightly different from usual. And again, please let me know what you want to see in the future series, because I'm really interested in what you guys go. Blah. Help me. I've lost the ability to speak. I've got to go. Thank you. See you guys all tomorrow. Or 2 days. If today's going up on Friday, see you guys all Monday.